Many men are unhappy with the size of their penis. 45% of participants in a large-scale survey reported that they would like to have a bigger penis. Dissatisfaction with size can lead to low sexual self-esteem. A man begins to doubt that he is able to successfully participate in sexual practices, such as pleasuring his partner. It also leads to low sexual satisfaction. The quality of sex for men who are worried about the size of their penis can suffer. How important is penis size to men? Although almost half of men would like to have a bigger penis, few of them are objectively pathologically small. Doctors call this feature micropenis and diagnose it if the penis is less than 3 inches when erect. Micropenis is extremely rare, only 0.6% of the world's population. But men's self-perception, their subjective opinion about the size of their sexual organ, seriously differs from reality, not only from the medical, but also from the statistical point of view. Researchers have found 2 trends. On the one hand, men often overestimate their penis size when they self-report. That is, when they provide personal data to scientists in surveys or indicate it on apps. On the other hand, they tend to underestimate penis length compared to the average. An extreme form of dissatisfaction with penis size is the so-called penile dysmorphophobia. This is a pathological dissatisfaction with a certain detail in the appearance, and the defect can be both real and imagined. And even if the imperfection really exists, the suffering of a man because of it, as a rule, is disproportionate to its significance. There are basic signs that researchers focus on. If a man is fixated on the size of his penis, even though it is within the normal range. If a man is looking for ways to increase his penis size, such as having special surgeries. If a man feels shame and distress about his penis size. Psychologists suggest that penile dysmorphophobia affects many of those who try to increase penis length or girth. These people should work with a psychiatrist and psychologist to improve their sex life. As penis enlargement interventions are ineffective or have little or no effect, but are often unsafe, they also don't help you get rid of the negative thoughts about your body that characterize dysmorphophobia. Among the symptoms of penile dysmorphophobia is shame about penis size. Obviously, a man's self-esteem suffers because he believes his penis does not fit into the norm. And this means that it is not so much the actual length and girth that matters, but rather a man's opinion about them, his perception of his body. How important is penis size for women? It cannot be said that the size of a partner's penis is completely unimportant for women, but it seems to be much less important to them than it is to men. Take, for example, a study that showed that 45% of men would like to have a bigger penis. In the course of their work, scientists also surveyed women. It turned out that 84% are satisfied with the size of their partner's penis, and 2% would like his penis to be smaller. Another survey showed that only 11.2% of women consider penis length very important for the quality of sex. The majority, 67.5% of women, have a more balanced position. Sometimes size matters, but not always. But the scientists didn't stop with surveys. Researchers from the University of California came up with an experiment. They printed models of penises of different sizes on a 3D printer and offered women to choose the ideal one. All the models were made of hard, odorless blue plastic so as to minimize the influence of skin color on preference. In the end, out of 33 options, most women chose the 7-inch long penis. However, if women were asked to find a man with an ideal penis, not for a long-term relationship but for one-off sex, the desired size became larger. That's 2 inches longer than the US average. Taking all of this into account, we can assume that women tend to prefer average-sized and slightly larger than average penises, but not as huge as men assume. What is more important to women than penis size? It is not always the size of the penis that really affects whether a woman reaches orgasm. Women are able to experience orgasm because of the clitoris. In 2005, Professor Helen Connell discovered using MRI scans that it is a nerve-rich organ. Most of the clitoris is hidden. It runs under the pubic bone and around the entrance to the vagina. Its bulbs fill with blood when aroused. Having described the structure of the clitoris, Connell turned to look for the mythical G-spot and found none. There is simply no erectile tissue in the vaginal wall, and what we used to call the G-spot is apparently the swollen bulbs of the clitoris when aroused. Thanks to this, women, as many experts believe today, and can experience pleasure from sex when penetration of the penis stimulates the clitoris. And in this case, the size of the penis, its length and diameter, may matter. An argument in favor of this view is that women who regularly experience orgasm from penis-vaginal sex without additional stimulation prefer longer penises. However, there are relatively few such women. According to some data, 70–80% are unable to orgasm without direct stimulation of the outer part of the clitoris, and the size of the partner's penis does not affect this situation. Some women even prefer sex without penetration because it is not necessary to achieve orgasm. From this, we can conclude that penis size is not as important to orgasm for most women as the partner's ability to handle the outer part of the clitoris. In addition, it is worth realizing that the size of a partner's penis is not the most important issue in a woman's sex life. Only 65% of women in general regularly reach orgasm during sex, compared to 95% of men. The reasons, according to experts, are many, from poor knowledge of the female anatomy by both women and men to the prevalence of sexual violence against women. Such experiences inevitably affect sex too. But perhaps the clearest illustration of why women are less likely to enjoy sex is a study by a Michigan professor. She asked men and women about what kind of sex they thought was bad. Men tended to say that bad sex is when you're bored, you're not fully satisfied. And women said it's when it hurts physically or is unpleasant emotionally. So the main thing a man who wants to please a woman in sex should be concerned about is the physical and emotional comfort of his partner. Worrying about penis size is much less important than open communication and discussing each other's sexual needs and desires. Psychologists, too, believe it has a much stronger impact on women's sexual satisfaction than penis length and girth. Many men forget that penis length doesn't matter to a woman because the vagina adapts to almost any length. The depth of the vagina of a woman who has not yet given birth without arousal is only 3 inches. Depth figures for women who have given birth are slightly different. Even during arousal, a woman's vagina is usually slightly larger. This means that any man's penis will completely fill her vagina if the penis is at least 4 inches long, but this is very rare. Thus, a man whose penis is 7 inches or more can make normal love to any woman by providing her with proper arousal and introducing his penis very slowly. 2 points about women are also worth noting. First, many women are really against having sex with men whose penis size is really big or too long. In the second, many women are much more impressed with the thickness of the penis rather than its length. This is due to the fact that the nerve endings of the vagina are located on the sides, not deep inside. The trouble is that every man sees his penis from a certain angle. The angle at which you look down inevitably makes your penis appear shorter than it really is. But when you're looking at another man's organ from the side, the angle is quite different, so it very often appears that the size of his organ is much larger than yours. For taste and color, all felt-tip pens are different, and the ideal penis size for each of us is different. After all, it is not without reason that the standard male penis does not exist, and he himself is not a money bill to please everyone. And yet, still, it is possible that there is a golden mean, the ideal penis size according to women, so to speak, the gold standard of quality, which suits almost everyone.